All right, I'm going to kind of freeform it today. My name's Bob Rutledge. I do marketing for service companies. This particular data that you're looking at now is real data, but it's not, it's generated today, up through today, but I've gone through and taken the time to change all the names. It's real funny. I just had, so to change the names, you can call Ryan Hall if you want to, but he doesn't exist. I had ChatGPT 4.0 generate a list of 100 names that I could cut and paste in here. And it did. And every single one of them were what I considered to be white Anglo-Saxon Protestant names. So I thought that was pretty funny that, you know, they try to be so diverse and then they fell at it so miserably. Went back and told it to redo 50% of them as women. And so it did, and I pasted them right here. That's why you see Emily's name there. There is no Emily Clark that I know of. Certainly not associated with that address, which is also made up. So phone numbers are made up. Everything's made up, but it is data up through today. This is using a program called Airtable. And Airtable is a database that I use to... I actually have built my own call tracking system and form fields that I put on all of my customers' websites. That way they have a list of all the calls that came in. We can sort it every way for Sunday and show them how well they're doing. And then especially after it's been a year, I can start comparing last year to this year. And let's face it, last year was a boom year for everyone. This year, the low-hanging fruit's gone. So you're going to have to make use of tools that are out there that are cost-effective. You're going to have to use, well, I mean, in this video here, I'm at least going to use Airtable, another product that I build my forms in. Even though Airtable builds forms, I'm going to use Fill Out, and I get no kickback on any of this. And then third and foremost, as a forward-facing product that the customer, if you were my customer, you would actually be seeing what I'm going to show last, which is Softer. And Softer takes this data you're looking at here on with the blue CRM at the top and puts it into a more palatable and easier for you to edit field. Format is a better word for it. So let's, rather than keep going on here, what I'm going to do is start. So this is a form fill. And again, this was, I use this company right here. Let me drag it over here. Here's their website. Is it not going to play? There. Now it's part of it. This is their website. Go there and sign up. They have a free form that you can use, but it's also, I do the paid one, and I use it for multiple customers. It's just pretty potent if you know what forms are all about. And if you don't, every time you input anything, you ought to use a form to do it. That's going to be my sales pitch for that. And in this particular case, the form looks like this. And so we'll go to the preview version of it. So this would be embedded on your website, and people could choose, in this particular case, it's a fence company. They could choose repair. Also, they need some new things, and they can pull down here. They want an outdoor kitchen. They want a wrought iron fence around the deck. They want a pergola built, and then their name goes in here. How do they prefer to be contacted? We can come up with anything you would like. This person is located in Texas, so I've kind of set it to where you can only put data in for Texas. You write a description about your job. If you have any other particular needs, I can even put a form on here, or a place on here to upload photographs. So like if you're in the repair business, fence repairs, or fence, it's like a tree fell on your house or something, you could include pictures in it. And then you click I'm not a robot, and that will reveal the submit sign, and it submits the information. That information is then immediately transferred to this database. This database then triggers a lot of events. It sends an email, for instance, to my client, or a text message, excuse me, to my client, tells him that he just got a new sales lead. So he knows immediately that that happened. He also gets that form in his email. The client that filled out the form gets a copy of the form in their email. Everybody's happy. So now we've got all this information here. What do we do with it? So this particular person, if you look down through here, some of these are repair and replace, new and replace. They want more than one thing done: a patio, a pergola, automatic gate. Most people want a fence, and they give how they would like to be contacted. And this information goes on down through here, and got email addresses and whatever. So what we do with that information is we put it into a format that the client can see. And in the past, hold on, I did not drop it in the right place. In the past week, this is what the data looks like to the client. I run it through a program called Make. I'll show you that one right quick. So Make is an integration program. I use it to go out to Google and say, hey, Google, give me the latitude and longitude of this address, so that I can then map it out and have, so that my salespeople aren't running all over the place trying to figure out, where the job is. And so let me get all the way back down to the form that I was on here. And you will see if I've done my job right. Bam, there's the phone number, the addresses of the name of the person, address. And you click on this box and it'll open up another box, and you can make edits on that from your end. I can edit all the data anytime. But you click on any of these buttons or any of these flags up here, and it'll show you who's in that area, and then you go do your sales thing. So that's with Airtable, using Google Maps. I incorporated Google Maps using what's called an API on this program here, which is called Softer, and I use an integration tool called make.com, and it goes out there and pulls that data in and pops it into this format that we can use it. The other thing I wanted to show you that we do with this company and with all my clients is, used to, one of the biggest expenses I had was call tracking. And it still is, don't get me wrong, but I brought it in-house. I built my own call tracking system out of Airtable. And to do that, you got to have Make and or Zapier. You've got to have, because that goes out and pulls the call data in. And then you've got to have Twilio or Plivo. Both of those you can get phone numbers from, and you build your own call tracking system. It even, if I were to click this green button here, it's going to open up another window and start playing a video, an audio of the phone call. So my client can look at this page here and listen to the phone calls that come in and know how they were handled by his salespeople. Again, all these phone numbers are fake. I did a little program that made it switch phone numbers around so that, they'd probably ring to somebody's house. And also in this, it shows you the average length of the phone calls. It shows you where the phone call originated from. Although I will warn you ahead of time, anytime you need to track it all. Let me get on my soapbox about call tracking. And if anybody's not preaching call tracking to you, you're wasting your money. If you may want to advertise in many different areas, let's say direct mail, yard signs, the phone number on the side of your truck, the phone number on your website, the phone number on your Google Business Profile, which I do a lot with Google Business Profile, by the way. And any other way that you can think of that people would contact you. You need to have a separate phone number for those. Gone are the days where people memorize your phone number. They don't know who you are. They won't know who you were yesterday. They forget about you. It's really just a matter of knowing who got to you and where did they come from. I would even in some cases put a different phone number on my pay-per-click ads. Google pay-per-click is my #1 task that I do for my clients. Number 2 would be search engine just getting them listed in the local map section. Number 3 would be call tracking and setting up a CRM so they can follow up on their leads. Let me digress a little bit on that. I had a customer call the other day and calls are down. How would they know calls were down? And I'll go over that in a minute because you can tell on here by looking. And I said, well, how you give people estimates for doing that work. How often have you been following up on them? Well, in the good old days, you gave a person an estimate, and if you didn't sell them right then and there, because if you were the 4th person they saw and they like your proposal, they'll probably sign right then and there. But let's say they didn't, and that's most cases, I would believe. How often do you follow up with these people? Well, they weren't. And I said, those days are gone. You're going to actually have to put into practice some of the processes and procedures to start following up. And it can't be haphazard and random. That's where we use tables like this and tools like Integromat, which is now called Make.com, and Zapier, and Google. Google's got a new tables product coming out. That's where I use all of these tools to multiply our efforts. In other words, you put a person in here, you give them an estimate, you check off that they've got the estimate, then what the system will do is send them another email in a couple of days, another email in a week, another email in a month, following up. It will send you reminders when you really ought to pick the phone up and follow up on your own quote yourself. I can even have this scheduled so that it will do text messaging for you. Already today, I have a lawyer that wanted to get a form into a bunch of people's hands, and we sent 72. We triggered 72 campaign, if you'd call it, of 1 text message and 3 emails over the next 5 days that would request them to sign this form. The form, once it's signed, automatically updates to this list that we've generated for him in Airtable. It's so he can click on the form that they signed. It's got the signature available and everything. So this stuff is capable of doing all that, and if you can think of it, we can probably put it together to make your work processes flow a lot smoother and make them more of an automated situation. In this call here, you will notice, in this overview, you will see calls by date. So this guy got 9 calls the other day. One of the things I like about, I may have a column on here. Where's my, sometimes I'll show the client whether the call was, let's see if I can do this. There's a hidden field in here. Let me unhide it. I think it's called fake numbers. If I can find it again. Call 2. I don't want to use that because that's the real number. I must not have done it on here. But I normally will even show how many unique phone calls that the guy got. So he can tell how many phone calls he got for this month or this day, 9. I can even calculate how many unique phone calls he got. And then we can do that on a monthly basis, a weekly basis, whatever. You can tell where his business is going. I don't say how you make decisions without knowing what you've done in the past. So in this particular case, in the past 30 days, this company has gotten 105 phone calls. Okay. So far this month, they've gotten 40. And 30 days a year ago, he had 94. So a 30 days period, starting today, going back 30 days, he had 94 phone calls last year. They averaged 2.5, almost 3 minutes apiece. This past 30 days, he's up 105 phone calls. So even in this market, I made some changes to his pay-per-click. I don't think we're spending actually spending a dollar more, although we're spending a lot. And he's gotten 105 phone calls plus in the past month. Within the past, you can see on here that he's gotten, let's do this, let's filter. We're going to do creation date. We can't do that because that was all created today. Anyway, it's got the number. You can go in here when everything's been created right. If it wasn't fake data, I could then pull up that he's had so many phone calls this month and so many. Let's see if it'll do in the past week. See, they're all listed as in, no, it's not. It's got it. Okay. So there's in the past week, he's had 22 form fills. What about is within the past month? He's had 73. See how that changes right there? Let me move my cup out of the way and get that to quit popping up. So 73 in the past month. Today he's had 1. Yesterday he had 2. In the past week he's had 22. In the past month he's at 73. So in the past month he's had 73 form fills and 105 phone calls. And then he's in the past month. So now let's go back to last month. So this month, in the past 30 days, he's had 105. Last month, he had only 88. We made some major changes to pay-per-click because business was down. And so keep in mind this 88. Let's go back and look a year ago what he got. Last month, a year ago. 87. So it was pretty stayed pretty much the same. But he wouldn't know that. Now, with this new Airtable, what I've discovered is it will have, I'm thinking 25,000 records per table. Maybe two, I don't know, it's a lot. So what I was doing was deleting the old phone numbers over 14 months old. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to keep this data going for as long as it'll hold it in there. And so we can go back and look this year over last, this quarter over last, this month over last, or this month over last and the year before that. That's where I would really like to see is how the trends go. That kind of data to me would be incredibly informative to someone that might want to buy your business one day. So that's something to keep in mind there too. All right. I think you've gotten the gist of what I'm talking about here. I do more than just pay-per-click marketing. I do the call tracking. I help you build practices and processes and automations that speed up your business. I do search engine optimization. I'm really geared toward service-oriented businesses. I have customers all over the country, and my fees are pretty darn low for what you get. But I will tell you, I'm not going to mention the price because that'll get, but call me up. I'll give you prices over the phone. There's no playing any games about it. And if you can't build something like, but if you can build something like this in Airtable on your own, the purpose of this video too is to not only spotlight what I can do, but what you can do. Because the beauty of this software is that it's powerful, it's up to date. It gets you away from, to me, it gets you away from the products like Service Titan, which are great for really big companies. But what about the guys that are just got 1 or 2 or 3 trucks? That's a lot of overhead to have from the get-go. Another thing, and I'm not picking on Service Titan or what's the other one, Home Service Pro. All of those, once they get in your pocket like that, you're scared to let go of them, even though you may want to. They get bogged down by old technology. I know that the big one in the flooring business is Broadloom. They had a really good, ahead of its time CRM, and they've been revamping it for years. And whereas I can do stuff straight off the shelf better than what they've ever dreamed of, because there's an $11 billion company behind Airtable. Let them design the infrastructure that I build your processes and practices and workflows on, and let us all not have to have the overhead so we can remain competitive. Most of the people I work for are just one-man shows, two-man shows, and then they have employees, and they may have one truck. They may have, I've got one company that's got probably 50 or 60, but I actually do less for them than anyone else. Most of the work I do is for the small independent businessman. I've got a guy up here on Main Street selling blinds and shutters, painting contractors, tree trimmers, fencing contractors, plumbers. I've got a young plumber that I'm working with, heating and air, several of those, several plumbers overall. Would love to get some more home renovation people. I've had home renovation people in the past. I think that is a area that could really use some tracking now that things are more difficult to stay on top of. That you've got to close every deal, or more of your deals that you get in front of. Leads are so expensive now. Anyway, I'm Bob Rutledge, and if there's anything I can do for you, any questions I can ask, go to my website, Micromanaged Media, and text, get my number there, send me a text, call me, schedule a meeting. If I can't take your phone call, and I probably won't if I don't know who you are when you call me, call me first, and then I will send you, no, let me do this better. Let's go to my website now. So go to my website, and on here, this is a tracking number. No, that's my real number. So call that number. It'll come straight through to me. I may or may not take it, but call me. I don't think that's not a tracking number. That rings onto my cell phone. But it is a Google Voice number. And that brings up another thing, folks. If y'all have never heard of Google Voice, you need to check into this, and I'll do a video on it real soon. I'm a big fan. And so your phone will ring right here onto my desk. Yeah, there's the phone number. And it will also ring on my phone at the same time. And that's called Google Voice. This is the paid version of it. It integrates with everything. So, well, almost everything. I think I've covered enough in this video. I'm going to end it there. And I wish you nothing but the best. Times are hard, but don't give up. Just get better at what you're doing. Get better at managing your business. You've always wanted to work for yourself. Well, guess what? You're working for yourself. Now you're going to have to be a real manager. And tools like Airtable are going to help you be a better manager. See ya.